Welcome back, my gardening friends. Well, harvesting is in full swing, but we still need to get those jobs done, and the wasps seem to be loving the blackberries. He's hiding behind there somewhere, I think. But while the wasps are on the blackberries, they're not on my conference pears. They're looking in good nick, and obviously as soon as we start seeing holes in them, we know they're ready. Same with the rats on the sweet corn. They've took all the tassels off that one, had a little look inside, and they probably thought it ain't ready yet, we'll leave them a bit longer. So hopefully we'll beat them. They're not ready yet. I have had a little look. I've peeled this one back, and it's coming good, but not enough to pick yet, and the rats probably think exactly the same. So let's get a few jobs done in August. So these are the autumn fruiting. The fruit comes on the this year's growth. So all this was cut down and they actually grow on this year's growth. So these are fine for now. These will get pruned back in the new year. And these are the summer fruiting. They've died back now. All the new growth is here. So we'll keep that in, but I need now to take out all the old growth that we had fruit on this time, and we should be able to quite easily tell all the brown has got to come out and all the green's got to stay in. So let's have a hack and pull at that. The sooner we do that, the sooner all the energy will go into the new growth, which we need to tie in. There, that looks better. We'll have got to do a bit of weeding as well, so I'll crack on with that. But first, it's a good time to pull out all those runners that aren't within the designated space. And you can see here, this is old wood, but the plant is trying to grow side shoots. So the sooner we get them out, the better. And these are so high. Don't be too worried about cutting these down to size, else they'll only sag over. That will encourage some side shoots. I'll show you that in the cage over there. You can probably see them actually coming out the top, so they've got to be cut off. So I'll just trim these up and I'll do some weeding. And while you're waiting for me to keep weeding, what do you do in August on your allotment or growing spaces? Pop it in the comments, and that might help others. Now that looks better. So now let's get it mulching. I've got a bit of cocoa there going on, just to help suppress the weeds and make it look more pleasing to the eye. And of course then, any late raspberries can be seen, not eaten by anybody else. Now this is where I put the autumn gold raspberry from the other end, and it's just started to grow again. It didn't like it because I moved it, but it's survived. The two volunteers from over here that have come from there, I'm going to tie these in somewhere, and I'm not sure what that is, so I'll leave it. But the autumn fruiting, the autumn gold raspberries have almost finished now. We'll leave them till they're dying death, and then I can't prune them, I'll just have to pull them. Excuse me. We should have took our last pickings of the rhubarb end of July. We should now leave it and let it do its own thing, so it can build those crowns up, taking all that lovely sunshine in, so that we get a nice crop next year. And I think all the blight spores this year of the main blight spores have been blown away or completely drowned, but we still must keep vigilant to ensure we don't get any blight. And you'll know when you've got really bad blight when those stems go black. That's why I pull the stems out, leave the potatoes in for a couple of weeks, stack them up out of the way, and harvest them later once those blight spores have died. And the volunteer comfrey is still growing. Even if our plants do go to seed, if you've got room and time, just leave them there. The bees have been loving that. And of course it's time to keep taking the ras strawberry runners. The compost got quite dry, so I'll put it in there, and we've had quite a drop of rain again over the weekend, and this looks more pleasing to the eye than this does. So that'll be the next bed that I tackle when I've got 30 minutes spare, and any runners that have rooted down in there I'll just pot up. They always say if you get mushrooms on your allotments and growing spaces, the soil's in really good condition. When they first started pushing up, I wondered what it was, but there you go, that's the comfrey bed. And the 2-year-old leaf mould which is in there, I'm now going to let it dry out. And this last autumn fall, probably see the wasp nest there. I'm keep feeding this with fish poo and the compost bin runoff. Obviously it's getting stacked up with everything and it soon disappears. So if you've got a compost bin, all those juices just disappear into the ground. Exactly the same when we collect the manure. I think that's a leopard slug, so he's a stayer. If we bring some manure in, all the juices end up in the ground, unless you're like me, it's in a sealed container with a tap on it, and we collect those juices to add to our beds for the plants that are nitrogen loving. Keep growing, Mr. Mooley. How can you walk down a path without helping yourself to some of these lovely blackberries? I'm freezing them at the moment. A few lessons learned. Because with the weather, they soon tend to go off, but I've had quite a few, as you know. Lots have fallen on the floor. I'm going to be leaving the door open now so the birds can get them, but the ones that I took off and put in the fridge at home are in better condition. So next year when they're ready, I'll take the lot and pop them in the fridge. You don't have to turn my own freezer on. Everything else is done okay in here. We've got new designs to this side of the fruit cage, all that wire netting. I can't get the weeds out, so I'm going to do something different when everything's died back over the winter. I've got to sort this mess out now. See, I'll cut it off there, but it's still shot off, so sorry about the light there, but got to sort out the old from the new. And a lot of the gooseberries that are left have gone over now, so we'll let the wildlife have those. Well, that definitely looks better. It's all tied in, and as you can see here where it's got damaged, don't want to rip it off, then all these new shoots have come off here, which will produce more raspberries later on. The more time you take now, the better your crop will be. And by just doing this little job, it's exposed these gooseberries, which still aren't quite ready, and they're the ones that got attacked by the caterpillars. I chuck all the caterpillars off, and we ended up with a good crop. And I really like this this little gadget. I'll just pull it off, tie something up, and then snip it off so you don't get no waste. Some of the beds now have been put to sleep. This has got some fresh manure. I scraped some of the soil back, put the manure in, and then moved it over, and that'll sit now until I want to use this bed whenever. I'm keeping the asparagus as weed free as I can. A few more appeared, but if you've still got onions growing, keep them weed free. We did this bed in about 15 minutes one evening. Here's the lettuce that we planted in the lampshades, and I can start taking a few leaves off those now. I think I'll leave the brassica cages to another day. Just spotted a weed in the carrots. Always best to get them out if you can, by the root. Very succulent, but doing that now will just save us a world of pain later on. So there's the first row. Let's have a look. Ooh, yep, excuse me, sorry. That's my first big carrot of the season. Second carrot of the season. Oh. And the third one. That'll keep us going for a while. I'll get them cleaned up in a bit. First 3 carrots out, and they'd probably do well on the show bench. Well, at least those 2 on the left would. But the effort to sow the carrots in those 3 seeds, thinning down to 1, gives them plenty of room to grow. They're the sweet candle. And I've just noticed that the Liberty beans are ready to harvest, and there's lots of little ones at this time of the year. I sow mine a little bit later, and you don't get many that don't set. If you are struggling, a fine mist of water in a sprayer will help them, especially on those drier summers, which we're not short of here in the UK at the moment. And the pongos, a third sowing of pongos, flowers are coming on lovely, so we'll get a harvest of those long beans. Another bed put to sleep, and the walking onions and the opria started growing already. Plenty of courgettes coming along, and we've had plenty of spring bunching onions. I shall definitely get that variety again, but yes, they've been very nice, and I'm going to have to hunt every long bean down before they get too far. These are the cobras down here. Got some for them for my dinner today. More lettuce. I haven't used slug pellets in these. I normally put about 5 slug pellets in the bottom just to kill off any, because normally they don't try and make the journey up and over. It's normally what are already in the soil. Here's some of the radishes that have just started to come through. The expiry date on those was 2019, and the expiry date on these was 2017. Couldn't get them to grow earlier, now they are. So never give up on your seeds, sow them all. There you go, Mr. Rat. See if you can get those sweet corn there. Might do that to all of them, or just a few, where we think the silks have had all the pollen they need. So the next job, I've got to get all the beetroot out. I've got to do some pickling later, or when I have time. Well, these little jobs do take longer than you think, but give them a good wash from bucket to bucket. Not use the toilet brush on those. We want to keep those skins intact so they don't bleed. And to ensure your beans stay fresher for longer in the fridge, wrap them up in newspaper. That's in my 1 minute tips. It'll be on the end screen. Busy, busy, busy. But what great satisfaction you get of growing your own and being able to get your hands around Bill and Val's melons. And finding that you've already taken one harvest of cucumbers and there's more and more to come. And this is the crystal apple cucumber. If you've not grown it, give it a try. You won't be disappointed. And we've got the kale. Secret raffle. The video for that will be on the end screen. Won't be long now before the end date for that. And please leave me a comment on what you do in August. And don't forget the thumbs up, thumbs down for the interaction. Again, leave a comment on anything you like. And why not consider subscribing? It's free. And click the bell to get updates when I upload next. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta for now.